speaking about the final third of the pitch, Andy, there are, USMNT Twitter is gone pretty wild on this. Balogun, Folarin Balogun, the Arsenal forward who is on loan and ripping it up in Liga in France. He's a dual national. I spoke to him about it last year in an interview, and he was very coy. He was obviously playing for the English youth national team, said he's keeping his options open. He'll see how he feels. But there's a lot of talk and reports out there that he's actually going to be in person watching some of these US games from the stand. Maybe he isn't close to pledging his allegiance to the USMNT. But if he was to do that, a young striker of his quality and proven quality in Europe, I mean, that would be a huge feather in the USA's cap. But again, he's close with Yunus Musa, came up through the ranks with him and Bukayo Saka, that kind of age at Arsenal. So his qualities are undoubted. But this battle for dual nationals, if the US does have a really good next 12, 18 months before the next World Cup, that's going to be huge for them as well, and all these different players they're battling for, isn't it? So forward, that's what we need right now. One of these strikers either in this camp or someone like Balogun to emerge. And I think that's the only missing part of the jigsaw between now and the next World Cup, where you can say, where you said earlier, the US is that step 2 or 3 team where they can get into, a top tier team, which I would argue the likes of, a Switzerland are, where they can go on a run and go to the quarterfinals of a World Cup, something like that. That's the difference right now, isn't it? Getting that key young striker in.
Yeah, and earlier I mentioned maybe attracting better options for head coach, and very astutely our producer Umberto said to us, well, maybe dual nationals as well, and that factors into it perfectly. And just for a little context here on, Balogun is having an incredible season on loan from Arsenal, playing in Ligue 1 this season. 17 goals in the league this season. For comparison's sake, just for comparison's sake, the most Tim Weah, who we are very excited about and all like and adore very much as a player, the highest he's ever had in Ligue 1 is 3 in a season. He's got 0 this, and so I think we're just talking about something completely different here with Balogun than any other player that we have had in the player pool, or player that's even potentially been in the player pool, maybe going back to, I don't know, Giuseppe Rossi, almost 20 years ago now. And obviously his career ended up being what it was due to injury. But this is the kind of talent that I think that we're talking about for a 21-year-old who still has many levels to go up in his career and continue to develop, and whether that's going to be at Arsenal, if they win the Premier League this season, they're back in Champions League next season, there's almost certainly a spot in the squad for him to be a regular member there, or he can go to one of the teams that dominates the Europa League every season. Think of a Sevilla type of club and settle into somewhere like that. And so he's got obviously a fantastic career ahead of him. And it does feel like, given the relationships that he has with some of the players on the team, the fact that he has allegedly been spotted in Orlando this week and is expected to be in attendance for the game against El Salvador, it's starting to feel like all things are pointing in that direction of, okay, we might have a striker. And if we get him, it feels like we might have a really, really good striker that you can build around for the long term, and that will really, in a lot of ways, fit in with all of the other attacking pieces that we have. A player who's very good in hold-up, a player who's very good running in behind, a pretty good finisher as well, kind of a versatile, almost complete forward type of player. And when you've got Pulisic, and you've got Reina, and you've got Aronson, and you've got Weah as well, that are able to combine the way that they do, I want to get excited. I really want to get excited, but obviously we can't until everything is signed, sealed, and delivered, FIFA clearance, all of those things. This could be a good thing. This could be a really, really good thing.
And just to get you more excited about him, only Jonathan David and Kylian Mbappe have scored more Liga goals than Folarin Balogun this season. Okay. So, yeah, pretty good season for him. And let's wait and see what happens for him in the USMNT moving forward. But Anthony Hudson, when asked about it, was pretty coy on the whole situation. So I feel like that's usually a good sign that there's something going on there behind the scenes. So we'll keep you updated with all the latest news from the USMNT camp for these games against Grenada and El Salvador. Of course, you can watch the games on Peacock. You can get all that streaming information over on Pro Soccer Talk at NBCSports.com. We'll have analysis, reaction, and much more, video highlights, you name it, from these two big games as the European core, all the big boys, Pulisic, McKennie, etc., are all back for these games. So be excited to see how they do and how they take that next step after what was a very successful World Cup.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.